Buddy, and welcome in to another week of the SFA, and it is finally here. We are here for conference championships, baby. Let me know if you can hear me so we can go ahead and get started. Okay, Cryo, why do you gotta do me like that? If you don't know what the SFA is, it's a online dynasty ran primarily through Discord, Twitch, and YouTube. You can take over a team. You can edit the depth chart. You can set your schemes and playbooks, and then you can recruit. We also have a ton of server games that help you with recruiting, and that are a lot of fun. And then we do all sorts of things in the Discord. So join if you'd like. We have commands. We have links in the descriptions. And if you are watching live, you might run into an ad or two because we are affiliated with Twitch. So if you want to drop a Twitch Prime sub, anybody who wins the national championship will get a care package with an actual trophy, courtesy of you guys and your support. And yeah, let's get started. I am super pumped for this here today. The postseason always feels like it is such a long wait, but here we are, and we just came from Watch Party where we saw the Sun Belt Championship between Southern Miss and Georgia Southern come down to the last little play in the last few moments. So we'll show that to you here in a second. I see you guys in here. Awesome. Let's go for some big moments today in the conference championships. A lot on the line as we expand to a 12-team playoff. And the change that goes from regular season BearCave to postseason BearCave, if you didn't know, is normally we only jump in the last 2 minutes. When it comes to conference championships, we jump in if there's 5 minutes left. If it's a one-score game and it's under 5 minutes, we will jump in and watch the end. So this might be a short stream, might be a very long stream. We've had some ridiculous moments in the past. Can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's get us started here. As you see that Georgia Southern barely outlasted Southern Miss. The VOD will be available for you later on tonight. It came down to a two-point conversion for Georgia Southern, and unfortunately, D. Dowis got tackled, and it was a really fun game. A lot of turnovers, a lot of big plays. So if you want to watch it, it will be available a little later on. Georgia Southern, the reigning Sun Belt champion, gets their second in a row. And all right, so yeah, so we're gonna get started. Let me before we jump into the first game, I got to get my game line screenshots. I wanted to start today a little bit earlier because I know how long it does take this stream sometimes when we are doing conference championships, and I just got to find the game line section here. All right, let me get my screenshots so I know the order. All right, we're cooking. Then, obviously, later on, we have the ACC Championship between East Carolina and Clemson, number 2 versus number 1. That is game day later tonight. And then tonight is obviously recruits, but we're also going to do the final CFP rankings, which will be released tomorrow on stream for the Bowl Selection Show. So stick around for that. You'll get the playoff, and then immediately you'll be able to pick your bowl games. So a lot on the line today, and if you have been following the playoff race, the two teams really to watch today is Stanford and Michigan. Those are the two teams that can cause a lot of chaos in the rankings. So we'll see how it all shakes out here. But first, we're going to start in the Mountain West between UTEP and Fresno State. UTEP is the 6-6 team who won the division on the last week, and Fresno State backdoored themselves into it as well after Hawaii beat UNLV via a 3-way tiebreaker. So let's jump into this one. As always, I go with the away team. So if Moroku, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive. And the spread for this one is a 9.5-point favorite for the Bulldogs. We're going to see Chadley Brown, the SFA quarterback. And the over-under for this game is 59.5. And as always, for all of the conference championships, I do run a prediction. So for this one, we are going to do Chadley Brown passing TDs. So get your Bob and Us ready. You can earn a lot today or very little. Is it going to be over 2.5 or is he going to stay under 2.5 is the question. So you only got 60 seconds here. You got 1 minute to get it going. So get those Bobanos going here. We are ready for a big-time stream today. I'm so excited. And as always, we are affiliated with Home Field, the best apparel, college football apparel, and college basketball, all college sports. Best apparel company in the game. Super comfy, insanely cool designs. Get your own. They're running a ton of Christmas deals here over the last week and for the next week as well. And use code SFA, get 15% off. You can also use the code in the command or in the Discord as well to help support us. All right. So without further ado, we're going to jump on board with the UTEP Miners, who really came out of nowhere this year as they improved from really the basement of the Mountain West up to a division winner. After Coach Moroku utilized the transfer portal to get a quarterback, to get a running back, and a wide receiver. So we'll see if they can finish the job today. I believe we are in Colorado for this game. Pretty much every single game is going to be neutral site. Yes, sir, we are here at Invesco Field at Mile High. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear Empower Field, Sports Authority Field. Nah. This is OG Invesco Field at Mile High, baby. The best stadium in the world. I love the Broncos Stadium, and that's the site of our Mountain West Championship. Because, Dogwater, it's a good game. Relax. And it builds hype. Obviously, I'm going to have the games that have no meaning be more impactful, or be at the beginning. All right, man. They're at Invesco Field. We had the last game in Jacksonville, so it looks like with me and Rick editing the schedule, it also kept our edits for like the first time for the conference championships, which is cool. Because a lot of times it just defaults for no reason, even though I switch it to the home field of the team. But we are here at Empower Field. Boo, it's Invesco. But split right down the middle with the fans. You got to think Fresno State is a heavy favorite here. I do not see Moroku in the stream, but here we go, folks. Conference championships are well on their way. Who is making the playoff here? And remember, for making a conference championship, you automatically make a bowl game. So all these teams will be playing at least one more game. As first quarter here in the Mountain West Championship, who is going to take it? Two new teams from last year. And UTEP, surprisingly, has a 14-0 lead after the first. They're cooking. Fresno State not doing much. And Chadley Brown is on his back foot here. But wait, they come back. So UTEP scores 14 unanswered in the first quarter, and Fresno battles back with 13 of their own. We've got a ball game here in the Mountain West, folks, as UTEP now, they are driving. They add 3. Fresno, can they punch it in? They do. There's a touchdown. Fresno State takes the lead as the favorite into the fourth quarter. Remember, folks, in conference championship week, if it's under 5 minutes, we will jump in with one score. So we are hitting that 1 minute mark right now. So Fresno State on a drive here. Here we go, folks. Fresno State up 3. Chadley Brown is going to hand it off here. And it's a big run up the middle, breaking through a lot. I know the new coach went to a primarily heavy running playbook. Tyrone Ross there. He is averaging 7.5 a carry today. Can Fresno State close this game out? Welcome in, Coach K. Welcome in, Nathan. Welcome in, Mike. Glad you guys are all here as Chadley Brown's going to keep it. There he goes down the sideline. Not known for his wheels, but he gets 13. Chadley Brown, the freshman SFA player, looking to get a conference championship under his belt early. First and goal for the Bulldogs. A touchdown here puts this game pretty much on ice. They hand it off up the middle again, and they stuff them this time. Can UTEP find a way to force a field goal? Remember, folks, we have 9 games on the BearCave slate today, and then followed by the ACC Championship to wrap it up. Second and goal now. Handoff. Chadley Brown's going to keep it. Can he make a move? No, he's brought down again. So UTEP now has a chance to get off the field and save the season. Third and goal. They're definitely going to let this clock run, you would think. They're only 4 of 11 on third down. They're in shotgun. Looks like it's going to be a pass. They're letting the clock run. It's going to be bringing this down to about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Both teams do have all their timeouts right in the Miners' end zone. 3rd and goal. What's the call for Chadley Brown? They're going to keep it, and he doesn't get it. He had the triple option cooking, but Clay hits him in the backfield before he gets the pitch off, and the field goal team has to come trotting out. So UTEP will get their chance to win this football game down 6. Now, they are not calling a timeout here. So they're going to have 3 timeouts with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Fresno State, this is going to be a chip shot, about 25-yard field goal attempt. Bulldogs were heavy favorites coming into this game. It was a 9.5-point line. And that kick didn't look too good, but and as a reminder, these games do not matter if they pop up. All games this week will be watched, so nothing that pops up from studio updates matters at all, as you have 2 minutes and 39 seconds left, down 6. As they're going to cut out field, that's a broken tackle. And Fred Austin, he is the transfer from LSU, the running back. They have put all of their focus in, and the quarterback they actually got in the transfer portal, Tamir Lovelace, has fallen behind Hayford at quarterback as the starter. But they have Fred Austin, he is the workhorse back, and then also watch out for Ernest Parrish on the outside, the transfer from Cincinnati. So they're going to go quick option here to start. Definitely have a chance to run their regular offense, but Neil Bell's not letting that happen. 2 minutes left, 3 timeouts. UTEP taking their time here early on. Hayford in the backfield here, and over the middle, and that's caught. So threw it right where it had to be, just behind the tight end, and there's Parrish. Ernest Parrish, the wide receiver transfer from Cincinnati. It's not a tight end. Yet we have both users in this game. We have Moroku, who's always kind of been a quiet user, but he's been pretty active in like recruiting and such. And then Fresno State is brand new this season. As they get another conversion, down the sideline he goes. Mark Madsen gets to the 50. So all of a sudden, UTEP is in business. 1:39 at the 50-yard line. 3 timeouts. Touchdown wins the game. Or at least gives them the lead. And that's dropped this time. Might have been better to drop that one than catch it, as you don't want the time to tick away here. Second and 10 now for UTEP and Coach Moroku. At the 50, can they pull off an insane upset? They run a jet sweep to Mark Madsen again, and that only gets 1. So they're going to have to run back to the line. It's 3rd and long now. Not too sure how I feel about the play calling so far on this drive, but you know, we gotta let him run his offense. He got himself to this championship game. Let's see if they can win it. Split backfield set. Nice pass block and a wide open catch, one-handed by Ernest Parrish. Gives them a critical first down, and they continue to be in business. So the transfer players making massive impacts here. Hayford again. He has plenty of time. He's going to take off here. He gets about 2 as he goes to the near sideline. 57 seconds left, and they use that first timeout. So inside the 35 now. 2nd and 8 here. Austin's yet to get a touch on this drive. As they take off again, and he's brought down. That's going to be a sack. And the second timeout comes out here. So they need a touchdown. All of a sudden now you're looking at 3rd and long, 53 seconds. They already have 2 conversions on this drive. Do or die time now for sure. As yamming it to the corner, open man, it's tipped by the safety. Dustin Dennis, an immaculate play. He covered so much ground on that rainbow. And it's 4th down. Game on the line. The conference championship on the line. And he dumps that one offshore. He has to break the tackle, and no, Patrick McNeil can't get there. And Fresno State is likely going to win the football game. And I go back to that deflection. Ernest Parrish was wide open, and you got the safety covering about 20 yards in the air to deflect that just away. So UTEP isn't going to give it away easy. Remember, we always watch these kneel downs, just make sure no funny business happens in the sim. So UTEP gave a valiant effort and an insane turnaround from Coach Moroku in one season, bringing this team from the gutter to at least winning a division. And this is one of those conferences that is just dominated by that West Division. Fresno State, San Diego State, those two teams have really run this conference for quite a while. As we hit triple zeros here in the Mountain West Championship, and Fresno State gets it done, moving to 9-4. It took a three-way tie at the top of the division, and their head-to-head over Hawaii got them here, and they finished the job. It took a sack and a fourth down tip to win the game, and what a start to our BearCave day. A close game, that's all you can ask for. And how about that? His first career season, Chadley Brown wins the conference. Maybe one or two game results away from a CFP bid. So Chadley Brown is the star of this program. He will be the star moving forward. But Tyrone Ross, have yourself a day. 19 carries, 140-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. And the prediction, who did he get over 2 touchdowns? I do not believe so, but we'll have to check. UTEP hangs their hat, but they had a good game for sure. As we close it out from Denver. That was a fun one. All right, let's see these results. As always, I let these outros play. Don't want the game to crash, lose the result or anything, right? So, as we are always on an emulator, so if there is anything funky, we just roll with it. Yep, Maddox, I saw your DM. I'll add you to the offer sheet. Offers don't come out till after the national championship. Yeah, there's only 2 touchdowns, yeah, so they both went to the running back. So whoever bet the under is going to win this one, it looks like. I follow the BearCave graphic, so if you want to know what games are upcoming, look at BearCave and see the order. We go from top left straight down to bottom right, and Fred Austin had himself a great start, and then they just kind of lost their identity as they got a big-time throw from Chadley Brown, so he did get one. But let's check out the stats here. Willie Hayford ended up throwing it 38 times. You got to think they could have ran it a little bit more with Fred Austin, who only got 8 carries. How do you give your best player 8 carries? That is what they're going to die on, and that's tough. You never like to see your best player. You lose a close game and your best player didn't get the touches you wanted him to. Those are always tough pills to swallow. Let's check out the defense here for UTEP. And the kicker made his kicks. And now Chadley Brown, he only gets 1, and he only needed to complete 12 passes. So he started the season as being really a gunslinger, and then they kind of reeled him back, started running the ball a lot. The under was the prediction, so whoever that was, I think, makes 10 coins, but I guess they all count. As Tyrone Ross, though, was the player for them, averaging 7.5 a carry, big time. And then they got a couple big plays here from Michael Williams. And on the defensive end, Neil Bell. Cool. All right. So probably the least impactful conference championship on the season is out of the way, folks. So now every single one remaining has pretty much a very major impact on the CFP. So as always, got to get my player of the game graphic before we move on. But next up is going to be the MAC Championship. We're going to head over, and no longer is it normally we just get used to seeing Buffalo kind of run that conference into the ground. But Toledo has a new foe this year. It's going to be Louisville, who's 10-2. So we'll see what they can do here. Nathan, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive, or you're the home team, so it's just heads or it's just kick or receive. So the MAC Championship, Toledo has been winning their division. They probably are the, if you have to say somebody owns that division, it would be Toledo from those days with Brett Hundley. But these are very evenly matched teams, so anything could happen. 75 overall versus 75 overall. Let's get the prediction going. And the question is, I'm going to straight up say it, who wins? Sure, the records are a bit different, but we all know what Toledo can do. And this is a Louisville team who was terrible in the P5. They had a bad schedule this year. The 2 games they played against tough opponents, they really didn't do much. So you got a minute here, folks, to give your prediction. Put some bob-and-us on these games as you guys can make some money today. And you can influence BearCave games. You can influence, you can get on stream with me for a BearCave and commentate. You can even pick game day. So while we wait for the predictions, the lines for this game is Louisville at 10-2 is only 4.5-point favorite, and the over/under is 51.5. I believe on that last game the under did hit as well, so we'll see what happens with this one. But Louisville right now has an outside chance at making the CFP. For them, they need a Rutgers loss, and they need a Louisiana Tech loss, and then they would probably be in the discussion along with Georgia Southern, who won from the Sun Belt. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow when those rankings are released. Fresno State, they came away, they almost choked it. They won by 6. They got a sack and a nice deflection on 3rd down, and then on 4th down they threw it short. So, all right, so prediction is over. So Louisville, Nathan, if you're in chat here still, kick. Oh, he said kick earlier. Okay. I saw it. So Toledo, man, this is a team. If you remember the glory days of Toledo versus Miami, Ohio, before Buffalo got good, those were some of the best championship games we've ever seen. And this was the Patreon watch party last season between Ball State and Buffalo, where Ball State actually hung with them for about 3 quarters. That Buffalo team ended up winning the national championship. So we'll see, can Louisville get a win, get 11 wins? And I don't think there's one person in the country that thought Louisville would win 11 games this year. So, no matter what happens, Nathan, fantastic turnaround. You could be like Wake and be 2-10 in the American, or you could be like Louisville and take the wake-up call from getting demoted and kind of have a program resurgence of sorts, because it's still a big brand. Yeah, they're playing lesser competition, but still have those branded deals with all the crazy uniforms. All right, we are here at Ford Field for the MAC Championship, home of your Detroit Lions. Fans are about 50-50 here today as well. Maybe a little bit more Louisville fans, as Louisville wanted to kick, so that they get that. Remember, folks, we won't jump in unless it's close at the end, under 5 minutes. And here we go. First quarter of the MAC Championship. And Louisville gets on the board first with a touchdown. Next quarter here, and it's a low-scoring game here today. Toledo not doing much, and Louisville gets a 2-score lead. Toledo does get a field goal back at halftime, but it's coming up all Louisville Cardinals here in the first half. Can they get it done? 14-3, they lead it, and a lot of defense being played, and they get out to a 3-score lead. 18-point lead here as we enter the 4th quarter. Can Toledo do something? Where's Jack Snowball? What is he doing here today? As we continue, there's a fumble and a quick touchdown. So all of a sudden, it's an 11-point game. Remember, as we hit the 2-minute or the 5-minute mark, I'll only jump in if it's under 1-score game, as they get a sack now. As we're going to go one play at a time here, because we are still threatening a 1-score game. And they got a turnover or something, and now all of a sudden Toledo is cooking. Can they get this back? And they do. And the 2-point attempt is no good, so we're going to jump in now for the onside kick. Both teams have all 3 timeouts, so it's not over for Toledo. Louisville does recover, but they're going to have to get a couple first downs. Louisville is in danger of blowing a 21-3 lead here in the fourth quarter. Here comes Louisville. They need a couple of first downs to win this game. We have not really seen this team at all this year. So not sure as they get a guard almost running into his own lineman, but they get about 4 there from Harris. Keith Harris averaging 4 a carry here today. Can Louisville finish this game? Toledo is surprisingly not using their timeouts there. So letting the clock run here. Maybe they wanted to save a timeout. Handoff again to Keith Harris, and he finds room to the outside. He pushes through. First down, Louisville. That was a massive run for Keith Harris. Welcome in, Tribe. All you missed was the Mountain West Championship where Fresno State barely outlasted UTEP, winning by 6 points. And now we have Toledo trying to complete a 21-3 comeback, but they've got to get a stop here. And it's not looking good. It is only a 5-point game as you got Liam Gagne, the SFA player, making the tackle. 2 tight ends here. They're going to run power to the right side. There's a big opening there for Keith Harris. He gets another first down. Is that going to do it? It looks like it will. So Louisville may have just ended the Sun Belt's dreams of a CFP. And whoa, Toledo. Dirty players over there trying to injure the quarterback on the kneel. He kneeled like 10 seconds ago. That needs to be a suspension or like a throw him out of the game there. This is not the kind of football we play here in the MAC. Louisville is pissed. And so is Toledo. They're pissed. Things are getting chippy down there on the field. It was looking hairy there for a second, but Louisville does what they've done all season. Survive and win the games they're supposed to. And that is the last play. It doesn't look like they'll kick the field goal here. They'll just let the clock run out, and we got to watch it because we don't want the game to sim forward and mess something up, right? So, barring a disaster here, Coach Nathan is going to be a conference champion. Let that sink in, folks. Relegated from the ACC, their first season in the MAC with a competitive roster. They go 11-2, and as we hit triple zeros, it's official. Coach Nathan has won the MAC championship here in season 13. An unbelievable turnaround from a team that couldn't get over 4 wins in the ACC for what's felt like the better part of a decade. Keith Harris runs them and gets the win here at Ford Field. Congratulations now, as Louisville will be eagerly watching the results of the Rutgers Western Kentucky game and the LA Tech Memphis game coming up here in a little bit to see if they find their way into the college football playoff. Unbelievable. They call him the Mac Gritty. Mickey Mouse. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have any SFA players on this team. Nathan, if you're watching, please offer more than $40K on recruits. You're never going to get a guy for $40K. It's just never going to happen. And for those of you betting, that's a Louisville cover by half a point. As the under does hit, we only got a combined game of 37 here in the MAC championship as Toledo loses yet again. They go down to 7-6. No, it's not all you have, Nathan. You don't have 40K. Nobody has that low of a budget. As speaking of which, all right, folks. As we head to the scoring summary, it was Keith Harris getting those receiving TDs, and then they just let Toledo come back, but it wasn't enough. And I got to blame this loss for Toledo on SFA player Jack Snowball. We'll see what he did here, but Curtis Good, only, being the game manager that he is, pocket passer, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, only throwing it 11 times. They just wanted to establish the run, jam it down their throat, and shorten the game with Keith Harris once they got a lead, and that's a good way to play football, as he was also their leading receiver. On defense here, you got a sack from Dave Byers, a couple of TFLs, a lot of TFLs actually, Trent Woodward as well. And kicker Vivian Alexander, the SFA player, is the only SFA player on this team. She did not kick a field goal. And Trey Clark, the junior, had 2 touchdowns. He actually played really well, but Jack Snowball only averaging 4 a carry, the redshirt senior. Definitely a disappointing game for him today. He is one of the last SFA players from those great teams, along with Brett Hundley and Marquise Lee. So unfortunate for him. They will not go out as champions, but they will have a bowl game opportunity. And let's see the defense. Liam Gagne, the SFA player, he gets 6 tackles, 2 TFLs, and he did get an interception. And that will do it from the MAC Championship as we head to the next game. All right, folks. This is where every game starts getting very, very interesting. I'm all of a sudden very hyped. I'm actually getting nervous for you guys, as I'm obviously equally nervous for my game, but there are some games today that hold a lot of weight and a lot of power in the SFA today. So let's check out what's happening next, as we are going to stay in the group of 5. We're actually going to figure out, well, I don't want to say figure out this group of 5 race, but we'll see what's happening with it, as the next game is going to be, we're going to go to the Conference USA. All right. Someone give me 17K. Let me manage the prediction. So Louisville, it was the favorite, and we are completing that one. All right, so we are actually going to go down to Conference USA, and all of a sudden you got Louisiana Tech 10-2, battling with Rutgers for what everybody is saying is probably going to be one of these two in the CFP. And Louisiana Tech has that quality win over Stanford on the road. So they have an opportunity here today to make a statement against a Memphis team. Memphis coach, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. But as we get into this game, here is what the prediction is going to be today. We have quarterback Young Sung Bong, one of the original athletes in the SFA. We're going to say he's over-under on rushing yards. Is he going to go over 100 yards? Or he's a quarterback, so I'm going to go over 74.5. Or is he going to go under 74.5? He is a rushing quarterback. So is Young Sung Bong going to have a good day today, folks? Get those Bobinas going. So I don't see anything from the coach there. So this Memphis is technically the user. LA Tech, not a user. Smashing the under for Jay Jettas. Yep, if you're betting on this game, it is a 8-point favorite for the LA Tech Bulldogs, with the over-under being 60.5. The under is typically a good bet to go with. So we'll see what happens here. And by the time we finish the intro, the prediction will be over. We'll see if Young Sung Bong can generate it. They have a massive opportunity here, and I would love to see Young Sung Bong in the college football playoff. I feel like he's a player that has been underutilized in terms of the last couple of seasons, and ever since that Memphis team, right? Dogwater's on Memphis, so they got a lot of screen time over at the Bulldogs, so I was excited to see Young Sung Bong. But then Dogwater leaves, who never really revisit this team. But they got a massive win last week over Louisiana, a last-second win on BearCave. So what are they going to do today? Memphis crawling in here on the last second. If you haven't already, I would check out Sleepers Peepers for a quick preview. But Memphis kind of backdoored themselves into this game, not winning a single non-conference game this year, but only losing once in conference and beating the critical SMU team who has really ran this division for quite some time. But they're facing Louisiana Tech. Can they get it done? They're going first. Rutgers will be coming after us. We are here at the site of the New Heights Classic, NRG Stadium. We've been here before. This is the site of our yearly neutral site game during the season. We love this venue. So it's always heads and kick. Can Memphis get the job done? If you're Louisville, you are cheering hard for Memphis here today. Because now you get that win in the MAC championship. You need some losses ahead of you. Memphis starts out with a touchdown. All of a sudden, butt cheeks start to tighten from both sides. First quarter goes to the Tigers. And remember, Memphis has a history of the playoffs, so they are experienced in these big-time games. This is a good program. And LA Tech in the first half is held scoreless. Young Sung Bong does not get on the board here in the first half. So can Memphis hold the 6-6 team? Can they make or do the impossible? LA Tech gets on the board now here in the third quarter. Is it going to snowball as we go to the fourth quarter here? Memphis is driving, and they move it back to 2 possessions. We're going to get on board with LA Tech, and they get a touchdown. So all of a sudden here, it's a 3-point game. We're under 5 minutes, and this is where we jump in. The Memphis Tigers have the ball. Can they close this game out? They're going to run their 4-minute offense. If they can get a couple of first downs, this game is over. The lefty throws it over the middle. That's a wide open man. And they're pushing him backwards. Where are they going to mark it? Ryan Lester gets the first down. It looks like the over-under is definitely going to hit. The question, though, is about can LA Tech get this ball back? Handoff now, and Stiffy's a man on the outside. He almost broke that free. This LA Tech defense is going to have to find a way to contain Grant Barber. And I believe, did we see Grant Barber earlier in the year? I feel like we watched a watch party. I think we watched Memphis versus North Texas, can somebody remind me? Because I remember Grant Barber being a bit of a beast. He had a long touchdown run, I believe. So watch out for Memphis. They are actually kind of sneaky good, if I'm remembering correct. As 3rd and 3 here, LA Tech has a chance to get the ball back before using their timeouts. It's going to be offset eye. Everybody knows the ball is going to Grant Barber here. Tight end in motion. Looks like they're going to heavy that right side. And oh, they fake it to the left. They're going to throw it. That's a fullback. And he's short. Steve Montgomery can't get there. So going to the fullback on the short side of the field. What a call, and they're going for it. The Conference USA Championship, the CFP hangs in the balance. Can Memphis get a first down? They're lining up. They're going to run the clock here. Man in motion. What an aggressive play call from the Memphis head coach. Handoff, and it's a first down. LA Tech fans are gutted. As now they're going to have to start using their timeouts, and they may not get another chance with Young Sung Bong. Barber hands off to the opposing side, and they stop him, and still not using the timeouts for LA Tech. They're hanging on to him. I think they feel confident in their defense here. Remember, a field goal game. Anything can happen. They had that game-winning drive against Louisiana last week. 2nd and 8. Handoff up the gut. Barber, and he only gets about 3. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 here, and the first timeout comes out. Can LA Tech get the ball back? Playoff on the line. What's the call here on 3rd and 4? Oh, they almost get him to jump. That would have ended the game. But the whistle stay in the pocket, and they stop him short. Grant Barber does not get it. And now are they going to go for it again, is the question. Yes, they are. So Memphis going for it again, trying to ice the game and win the conference. Conference USA. They're going to fake the handoff. It's a throw. They have time. Outside. First down, Memphis. Jermaine Fitzpatrick might have just won him a Conference USA championship. The balls on this Memphis head coach are huge. Memphis throwing a wrench into the CFP race here late in the season. The handoff to Grant Barber. He finds the outside. He has some room, and they bring him down inside the 10. This one's all but over, folks, unless we see disaster. Unbelievable. As we get the victory formation, and it looks like Memphis is going to hang on against LA Tech in an absolute classic. What a game-winning drive. Memphis took over with about 4 minutes and 45 seconds left. And 2 fourth-down conversions. They run out the clock. Young Sung Bong is sick on the sideline. Sure, LA Tech will probably go to the New Orleans Bowl, but they are in shambles here, as they probably had the best chance of making the CFP, having that Stanford win, and with Stanford playing today. But all of a sudden now, Louisville has a real chance here. You get a handoff here. Last play, they got to rip this ball out, and they don't. A 7-6 conference champ, and this is the reason, Jay Jettas, that we don't have all 10 auto bids. Now, I don't think they'll actually kick this one. That would be insane. Legendary coaching. What a win. And the aggressiveness from this team in the biggest moments. This is a team that completely snuck into this game. And as we hit triple zeros, Memphis does the impossible. They take down LA Tech and Young Sung Bong and win the Conference USA Championship here at NRG Stadium. An amazing win for Memphis here, as they squash LA Tech's playoff hopes. Unbelievable. Our first big stunner of the day. Two fourth-down conversions, and Young Sung never had a chance. And that is how this game ends. Unbelievable. Upset alert, absolutely. Shambles for LA Tech here. And now all of a sudden, if you are a Louisville fan, you are jumping up and down. All you need is a Rutgers loss, and then you could be the favorite. It'd probably come down to Rutgers and Georgia Southern. So already a ton of shenanigans here happening, as always, on SFA BearCave. You absolutely always love to see it. 3 games in here, and we already have seen ridiculousness happen. And let's check out how this even happened, because Memphis controlled this game from the beginning, and it was Grant Barber, the running back. A good running game gets you such a long way here in the SFA, and Memphis dominated. Brian Smith, he had an interception, but doing what he needs to do, and Grant Barber just carrying the rock over and over. And this is an older team, both redshirt seniors. They've been on some pretty bad teams here, let's be honest, but as redshirt seniors carrying their team to such an unlikely conference championship, beating SMU, who's run this conference, was the defending champions, and now defeating a ranked LA Tech. Unbelievable. And Young Sung Bong, 262 passing yards. This is kind of what we expect from him in the passing game. But what did he do in the running game? Only 33 yards. So the under hits for you the predictions, as that is only 40% of the voting. So there's a big payout for you guys there. Nicely done, as Bobby Cobb couldn't really get it done today, averaging under 3 a carry. And Pat Vaughn was the leading receiver here. And on defense, I mean, they only gave up 17 points. What else are they supposed to do, right? You know, you felt like your defense carried you. They couldn't get a stop on the last drive. That's probably the kicker. All right, here we go, folks. And now one of the most highly anticipated games of the day. Let me get my player of the game first. Young Sung Bong does get player of the game for the offense. What a win for Memphis. What a shocker. All right. All right, folks, we are 4 games into the conference championships here. Having fun. One more group of 5 game to go, and it is a big one. We've got Western Kentucky, Coach Huey against Rutgers, who took down the mighty Cincinnati on game day last week. And after that LA Tech result, you got to assume it's a win and in situation for Rutgers. Can Huey do the impossible like she has done all season long? Huey, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. And the prediction we're going to do today, or for this one, is who has more rushing yards? We have 2 SFA running backs in this game. We have Jackson Viss from WKU, the freshman receiving back who's turned into a power elusive back pretty much. And then we got Rutgers. And we've got the running back we all know, Rashard Mendenhall, who they love on this team. So get your Bobanos going. We'll see what happens here. Can the lefty Leon Fox do the impossible? What was the word they say banned on Twitch? Twitch. Tails and kick for Huey, okay? Huey for Tui. I don't know what Tui means, but I'm all for it. All right. Now, if you're betting on this game, folks, this is a 7-point favorite for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Probably a little bit low of a line for them, and the over-under is 55.5. So we've had all unders so far, I believe. And I think we got Vinnie Queen, the center. And this is going to come down to Leon Fox and the running game. If Western Kentucky can run the football here today, they have a chance. But Rutgers is a very, very good team. They are like those teams we've seen from like Ohio State. Think of like an IRL Michigan where they are just super, super conservative. They just run their offense over and over again, consistently moving the ball. They don't make mistakes, and they just suffocate you in the third or fourth quarter. Will we see that today? And will Rutgers clinch a spot? Be the first one, we think, to clinch a spot in the CFP. Obviously, nothing will be official until we talk about it. But at this point, with things are laying, you got to think it's either Rutgers or Louisville making the college football playoff here from the group of 5. All right, folks. We are at the M&T Bank Stadium. Is this in is M&T Bank, is that Charlotte? Because I think that's where the ACC championship is held too. So maybe we have a back-to-back here. Oh, shoot. You said tails, but you want to kick anyways. So, hey, it worked out for you. Sorry, I picked heads. All right, here we go, folks. AAC championship on the line. And Rutgers with a quick touchdown here in the first quarter. They move it out to 10. Can Western Kentucky generate offense? They do. They get like a defensive turnover, something, battle back. That's what they've done all year. They just stay in these games and somehow find a way. Rutgers doesn't score there. Western Kentucky takes the lead. Oh my God, folks. Western Kentucky has a lead at halftime. Things are getting dangerous here in the group of 5, and for the it's a 2-score lead for Huey. Are we gonna see an insane final race here for the G5? I can't. The 2 favorites, they're down 18. Rutgers is down 18. This is not a drill, folks. Western Kentucky. Are we going to see an epic clash? Remember, we can't jump in quite yet, folks. Rutgers. No, Rutgers isn't going to do it. And they lose. Oh, my God. Are we really going to see Louisville in the college football playoff? I am in shock. What just happened? Yui is incredible. Her first year in the conference after being terrible at Hawaii. She goes to UCLA, recruits some of the biggest busts we've ever seen into various traits, and even then they suck. And then she goes to Western Kentucky, and on the back of a 62 overall left-hander quarterback, Leon Fox, and Jackson Viss, they do the unthinkable. Even without their starting left tackle, Benny Keuchel, they still come in here to M&T Bank and they dog walk Rutgers. A team that made Cincinnati look like a baby back bitch. Unbelievable. And how did this happen? They had a 10-0 lead. 10-0 lead here in the first 5 minutes, and then Yui rattles off 28 straight. Unbelievable. Jackson Viss. We got to see what happened in this one, folks. Unbelievable. This is the chaos you guys all want. This is what you get, folks. Absolutely incredible. Leon Fox, the freshman. Did he just secure his starting spot for next season? Is Maximus Mays the third? Is he going to be on the bench or get redshirted? What a game. And Jackson Viss gets 132. Leon Fox didn't even run the ball. It was just Jackson Viss over and over again. Mario Britt leading the senior, leading the way. Unreal. Absolutely incredible performance. This was Yui's Mona Lisa. The perfect game. Everything went their way. The defense getting sacks. They got an interception. Leroy Wilson, who had some critical plays earlier in the year, he gets an interception. This is one of the best stories we've ever seen from a one-year wonder. A team with us. This is Chad Barber-esque with Leon Fox. Unbelievable. And Rutgers, what the heck happened? Campbell, you were killing Joe Broussard last week. And this week, 43% completion percentage. A touchdown, interception, and Rashard Mendenhall does not beat Viss in the rushing. So those of you who picked Jackson Viss are going to get a juicy payout, as only 15% picked Viss. Absolute shocker here. So the two G5 favorites both absolutely choke their games away. John Jordan, the only one. Remember, he's that speedy guy with 90-plus speed. This is a team that we just saw dominate, absolutely kill Cincinnati. I thought for sure they were going to win this game. KJ King only didn't get any pressures, 2 tackles for loss. Unbelievable. I can't believe, the G5 race now comes down to the only 2 teams that we would even consider is Louisville and Georgia Southern. So, Georgia Southern might have a case, but we'll have to talk about it. But man, oh man, that is wild. Wild, wild, wild. The 2 teams that we have been looking at for like the past month completely flop in the biggest moment. And Rutgers, if you remember last season, they choked the game away against East Carolina by, remember, fumbling it and recovering the safety in their own end zone. They just did the same thing here. They just completely flopped. Unbelievable game. Nathan, it looks like it. We're going to have to see tomorrow, but that is wild. And if that G5 race wasn't wild enough, we still have 5 Power 5 games to play here. Conference championships and postseason SFA, nothing beats it. As now we've got one of the best games supposedly on the docket. We've got Logan Radke in Iowa State going against TCU in Coach Mango. This game will decide a playoff spot. Likely the number 7 seed. Florida Man, the meeting's tonight. Rankings are released tomorrow. We're trying something new this season. All right, Logan, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive. And Mango, if you're here, kick or receive. I'm going to go whoever comments first. I'm going to go with their team. Normally I go with Iowa State. But I don't see Logan here. So Mango, if you're here, let me know. This is a big one, folks. Likely for the number 7 seed. Two very unlikely teams early on in the year, but they've had incredible second halves to the season. Let me get my prediction going. This one's just going to be a straight up one. Mango, heads or tail, or sorry, kick or receive, since you are designated as the home team, as the higher seed. Who wins, ISU or TCU? 1 minute on the clock for you folks. Get those bobinas going. Tails never fails. We always receive the ball. All right, Mango. Well, we'll see how BearCave works out for you today. They are the higher overall. Obviously, we know the offense, what they can do in the sim. But can they finally erase all of the doubters that they got from that ASU game? They have, I would say, the best wide receiver in the country is Darius Hayward-Bay, at least deep threat. This is two of the top 10 best offenses in the country. I mean, TCU put up 65 on Baylor. So we will see what happens here, folks. TCU and Iowa State. One of these teams will be making the playoff. Will it be Iowa State and Coach Radke? His first year there, he had to deal with a ton of transfer portal exits, but he got Jamar Siggins, the transfer from Missouri, to come in at quarterback. And then you got TCU, who's been underperforming the last couple of years. They had a lot of hype early in the season, some bad losses, but then things just clicked, and they rattled off 7 straight. Who is going to win this game? Both of them beat Baylor. Who is going to represent the Big 12 this season? A massive, massive game here. The over-under for this game is 70.5. I think that might be the highest over-under I've ever set. And then this is the push game. So there's no favorites. And this game is at Arrowhead. So we are in Kansas City for the Big 12 Championship. Hey man, it's conference championships. We are here for the long haul, folks. Oh, who do I got? I mean, if you go, it's going to rely on the sim for TCU. If TCU wants to win this game, they've got to jump out to a lead. If Iowa State keeps this close when we watch the games, I just feel like TCU is going to lose. So we'll see. We'll see if they switch their vibe. But TCU will receive the ball. Here we go. 7 minutes on the clock here in the Big 12 the Big 12 championship, not national championship. And TCU does what they need to. 14-7. First quarter, that's exactly what they want. But these are two of the best offenses in the country. Iowa State surely going to come back, right? 28-7. They're getting 35-7.5. TCU continues the just scoring machine that is this offense. I told you in the preseason, TCU has arguably the best offense in the country, threatening Oklahoma, and it is on display here today. 35-7. Can Iowa State make some? 42! Is there going to be a comeback? 49. Iowa State in shambles here. Logan Radke getting a slice of humble pie. As we're not jumping in, it has to be a one-possession game. Now the offense is kind of sputtered out for both teams, as I think TCU started trying to run the ball. And TCU makes an emphatic statement here, folks. 49-14. Unbelievable. Mango is going to the college football playoff. And it was it was Sutton, the running back, out of the backfield. Then you had Kramer get a touchdown, and it was all running. Unbelievable. And then ISU got a return kickoff, but look at Sutton go. It wasn't the passing performance you thought, Mango. You did it with the running back. So I don't know if I would consider a playbook change, but you might want to consider a playbook change before we watch this team again. So JT Redwine, he did come out, probably came out because it was such a blowout. 2 touchdowns, and then look at Sutton. This kid is good. 8.5 a carry, 4 touchdowns, running the rock, and then receiving the ball. It was Gonzalez. Hayward Bay only got 19 yards, and then where is Speedy Gonzalez? He got his 88. All right, but this is their tight end that's in the Mackey race, and he only gets 1 catch for 27. And on the defense, Renner Hornbeek with the tackles. You got an interception here for Harold Cameron. And what did his SFA players do? Cornelius Day, he's the transfer from Nevada, getting 4 tackles. Kane Chambers in the back. And Dalen Barnes, the SFA player, getting an interception. Roscoe Cherry, the transfer from Michigan State, didn't do all too much. He's probably the only player on this team that has any experience in the playoff. As we look at Iowa State, who honestly had an incredible year. They'll be going to a decent bowl game. Might have an outside chance at a Citrus Bowl. But Jamar Siggins, only 14 of 34. And they really needed him to take a step forward today. He did not. Hopefully he'll be back next year to rectify this and maybe push him over the top next year. As Johnny Williams, who they were running through, they just couldn't get that rushing game going. Under 3 a carry is really rough. Kevin Kramer, the tight end, he is a freshman. That's going to be a nice guy to build around for them. But a tough day here for this team as Chaz Weber unable to cover Speedy Gonzalez, and they just ran right through this front 7. Great game here for TCU, clinching their first playoff since Season 6. So their first playoff and conference championship of the NCAA era. Hey, you know what, Mango? That's kind of how it goes, though, sometimes. You kind of sell out when you're in that championship window, right, with the transfer portal, and then all those players leave, and then you got to rebuild. It's kind of where Buffalo is at, right? So we'll see. I mean, if TCU can finish or figure out the game day stream offense and get him to throw the ball, then he is going to have a very, very good chance. All right, so what do we have next in store, folks? This has already been a wild day. We know probably 2 of the teams, Louisville and TCU, as we are headed to the Big Ten. So coming into this week, Michigan and Stanford were 2 of the teams to watch, as these teams could generate the most chaos. As right now, Michigan is on the outside looking in, even though they were in like the top 5 for the longest time. All right, folks, so let me complete this prediction, and we'll get the next one going. Everybody kind of thought TCU was going to win that one. Interesting. So the next prediction, folks, is this is going to be Slade Roden, quarterback for Minnesota. We're going to go passing touchdowns. He was considered, I want to say, a bust with Jay Jettas, and then all of a sudden Jay Jettas leaves and something clicks and he starts playing incredibly well. So is he going to go over 2.5 touchdowns or under 2.5 touchdowns? You've got the prediction going here. If you're betting on this game, you have Michigan as a 5-point underdog after losing to Illinois last week, and the over-under is going to be 54.5. How do you not know who Slade is, Jay Jettas? Come on now. Mango punching his ticket. Shout out to the purple teams. As Mango is likely going to be in that 7 seed unless, the committee likes him more than Stanford if Stanford wins. I don't know if that will happen, but we'll see. All right, let's get on into it. I'm going to go with the away team since this is 2 CPU teams. We've got Michigan, and this is a team now who they lost their starter quarterback a couple of weeks ago. He was only out for 2 weeks. They won 1 game, and then they lost at home to Penn State, and then all of a sudden the starter comes back, and they can't find any chemistry on the offensive end. And then last week, they put up a pitiful performance at home, losing by 21 to Illinois at home. So that dropped them out of a playoff spot with an at-large game. So now this game becomes mightily important. And this is where we start to look at bye weeks, folks. Both these teams, Minnesota might be clinched a playoff spot already, but the winner of this game likely gets a bye, and those are massively important. It's already hard enough to win 1 game day. You really think you can count on a team to win 4 in a row? 3 in a row sounds a lot better. So we'll see which team is going to be probably the first team to clinch a bye here in the season 13 12-team expansion playoff. Will it be Minnesota led by Slade Roden, tons of SFA players? Or will it be Michigan, who has a ton of SFA in-game recruits? No, they don't get the top 6. It's the top 4 get byes, and then the other 2 automatically get into the playoff, and then they're guaranteed a home game, which is seeds 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the first round. So whoever gets the G5 bid is likely going to be in that 8 seed, and then TCU, based on last week's ranking, likely the 7 seed. But once again, we haven't done the meeting. These are all just speculations. So we have no idea what these resumes are going to look like as we jump in here at the Big Ten Championship game here in Lucas Oil. One of the biggest games of the year. Michigan starts out with a touchdown. Minnesota responds. Are we going to get a close one here, folks? 14-7 after 1 from Minnesota. Michigan responds, but they miss an extra point. They're up 6. Minnesota now has the lead. That 1 point may come back to bite them this is a big-time scoring game here. 27-21 at halftime. This game's going back and forth, folks. Michigan had a chance to extend it, but they messed up, and Minnesota retakes the lead. So right now, the difference is a missed extra point for Michigan, and that's kind of how the last month of their season has gone. So what's going to happen, folks? Michigan takes the lead, and they get the 2-point conversion here. They now have the lead in the 4th quarter, and we are going to jump in here with Minnesota threatening Slade Roden, the SFA quarterback. You got Devin Hester, you got Jude Abraham. You've got all sorts of players. Who is going to make the plays, keep them in this game? Rashawn Bailey up the middle, one of the best running backs we've ever seen on game day. He always finds a way to make a big play. Is he going to do it again here today? And the bigger question is, last season was the first time the Big Ten West has won a conference championship when Iowa beat Ohio State in a massive upset. Is Minnesota going to make it 2 in a row, as that was dangerous from Slade? 11-1, they've looked so good here since that loss to Arizona State in about week 5. Third and 5 now for Slade Roden. This is the biggest play of the day. They motion into pistol. Slade's only 4-man rush. He has time. He floats that out wide, and that's a catch. First down. That's Jason Fisher. He already has a touchdown on the day. Slade Roden has 4, so that over-under on the passing TDs has hit. Slade Roden putting together a masterpiece here. Man to watch, though, bottom of your screen is Jude Abraham as they give it to Rashawn Bailey, and he stiffies a man down, and he gets about 5 yards. Impact players for this Michigan defense is Cheeto. Yes, his name is Cheeto, the middle linebacker, and then the safety Byron Brody in the safety position. We get another handoff to Rashawn Bailey up the gut, breaks a tackle, falls forward for about 9. Vintage Rashawn Bailey, as he's averaging 5 a carry now. Yo, let's go. Pin, gift a subscription. That's a massive W. Oh, is that just one sub? Oh, and we get a handoff. There's Rashawn. Can he battle it? He does! Rashawn Bailey ties up the football game, powering through 2 defenders at the line of scrimmage, and that was Cheeto getting ran over. All right, mini touchdown. Here we go, folks. 35-35 in the Big Ten. I don't remember the last time we saw this kind of a score from a Big Ten team. Brody Byron, yeah, that's what it is. All right, Michigan, it's your time now. Remember, their quarterback is back. But they definitely, the last couple of weeks have not been gelling. Today, they've been looking great. And they've got SFA running back James Draws. Can he put this game away? 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Plenty of time. And yeah, and that was a big game, Flame, for your resume, honestly, is, like, I think you beat Western Kentucky, but then you wanted Iowa State to win as well, right? So it's kind of tough. You're really hoping for a Michigan win here if you're Flame. Handoff out wide. That's going to be... Or you actually might be cheering for Minnesota. I don't know. But Draws has 107 yards, 1 touchdown. 3rd and 3. Can Minnesota get this ball back? Remember, their best defensive end, Marvin Irby, is not playing today as he did get injured in the last week's injury report. They bring a blitz and they get it to Draws and he gets smoked by Freddie Funyuns. But that's a first down for the Wolverines. As he pops right back up, Jason Givens having himself a day of his own. His first, I think this is the first game back he's really felt like himself. Remember, he's battling back spasms, which definitely is a lingering injury. As they're going to give a delay give to Draws here. 2 minutes left, plenty of time for both teams. Both teams have all of their timeouts. If you're Michigan, though, you want to run this down and kick a field goal. You do not want to give the ball back to Minnesota. As floats that out wide, and that is going to be a first down. Check Insta. Are you talking to me? All right. Handoff to Draws down the sideline. That's another first down. Yeah, stop distracting me from this epic Big Ten championship game here in Lucas Oil, channeling my inner Gus Johnson and Joe Claddy Daddy. All right, 1st and 10 here inside the 35. Jason Givens under shotgun. He dropped back. That's going to be a blitz, and he goes down. Jason Givens sacked. That was massive. Mitch Triplett, the linebacker, getting in there. Free rusher, and Minnesota's been incredibly aggressive here on defense. Yeah, that is massive. Now we're going back even farther. Michigan shitting themselves in the biggest moments. And Michigan, as one of the best stories of the season, nobody thought this team would be anywhere close in this division. All of a sudden now it's a 2nd and 22, out of field goal range. Desperation mode now. Minnesota loving it. 2nd and 22, Givens. They're bringing a blitz again. He hits him. Oh, it's almost picked by Tommy Adams. He had it. Michigan lives to fight another down. But Minnesota playing that Greg Williams defense, blitzing on 2nd and forever. Now 3rd and 22. What is the play call? 56 seconds left, 35-35. Playoff hopes, buys hanging in the balance. He dumps that off to Draws. Draws, he's not going to get anywhere. 4th and 19. So now if you're Michigan, you've got to hope for overtime, as you're going to have to punt this. Way too far to go for it, way too far for a field goal. And if you look, they're at the 42. 5 yards, that might have been the difference between attempting a field goal. But a beautiful punt there, going to pin them inside the 20. Over 500 yards of offense here for Michigan today. But here it is. A legacy-defining moment, potentially, for Slade Roden to get themselves a bye. One of the best teams in the country all year long. 1st and 10, 46 seconds. Can Slade Roden do it? Over the middle, a big-time throw. The first one to Devin Hester, SFA player. He is definitely a big play, deep threat. As they hurry it up now, only 7 seconds coming off the clock. No timeouts spent. Slade Roden, though, taking his time here. 1st and 10, only 4-man rush. Dumps it off to Rashawn Bailey. He gets a blocker, and he powers forward. That's a first down. So 2 plays here, only about 20 seconds come off the clock. Minnesota is in their mode. 2-minute offense, obviously. Keeping those timeouts. Slade, he has time. He takes off. He finds some room. Can he get that first down? And he does. He powers forward, and they can hang on to that timeout yet again. So they're going to hurry this one up. They are across the 50 now. Threatening field goal range. Is Michigan about to have an epic collapse and missing out on the playoff? And no, it's a sack fumble. The offense has it. That could have been insane. Instead of going for the sack, the defensive end goes for the strip, and he hits it. All of a sudden now, Michigan goes backwards. The strip sack could have just ruined this drive. They had to use the timeout now. Slade dumps that off, and that's going to be a catch from Jude Abraham. But they got to use that final timeout. So now what's the play call for Minnesota? You either have to go for a first down, you have to yam it deep, or you have to work the sideline. If you go down short of that first down, you're gonna have to you're gonna be going to overtime. So interesting play here. They only rush 3. Delivers a dart, and no, they're not going to get there. So this game is going to go to overtime. Devin Hester couldn't reach for that first down. They're not going to get to the line. So that Michigan strip sack turns out to be absolutely huge, saving their season. Unbelievable here. We've got free football in Lucas Oil. Here we go, folks. Nathan, both teams are not a lock to get in, as Michigan is currently 2 spots out of the playoff. Right now, the number 10 seed is on the bubble. So let's see. Michigan is going to have the ball here first. Split back set. We're going to see this offense yet again. They're still being aggressive on defense, but that's a wide open man. Did he get there? No, out of bounds. This Michigan offense just barely missing some of these big pass plays. And handoff to the left side. This could be the backup running back, Sam Taylor. I love Jay Jettas talking shit in chat when we know his game's coming up next and it could decide his playoff fate. All right, 3rd and 11. Massive moment here for Minnesota. Can they force a field goal? If you're Michigan, you do not feel confident with your defense, so. Jason Gibbons. Oh, boy. There he goes. 4th and 5. Jason Gibbons gets stopped short. Not sure why he's running the ball with those back spasms, but here we go. To take a 3-point lead in the first overtime frame. It's going to be about a 37-yarder, and that field goal is good. It was on a low line. Remember, guys, this game is not real, as we'll see that game actually, I think, up next. But now the stage is set for Minnesota. Touchdown wins it. Field goal sends us into a second frame. Anything else, and Michigan is going to the CFP. Slade Roden has time. He's throwing it deep, and he connects. Jason Fisher again. All of a sudden, now they're 10 yards away from a Big Ten championship. At the 8. Slade Roden, Rashawn Bailey in the backfield. Devin Hester, bottom of your screen. Jude Abraham, we've yet to call his number today, at top of your screen. Slade has time, a beautiful pocket. He throws it in the back of the end zone! And out of bounds! Jude couldn't drag the toes. The BearCave reward player couldn't get it done. Second and goal. Michigan season lives on. Second and goal now. Slade and Rashawn Bailey in the backfield. They're going to hand it off. It's a blitz. Rashawn Bailey up the gut, and he's stuffed. They save it by just a yard. And the biggest play on the day now, folks, from the 1 yard line, third and goal. Big Ten, CFP, everything on the line. We've got the flex bone. Minnesota, Rashawn Bailey up the gut, and he powers in! Rashawn Bailey gives Minnesota the Big Ten championship and the first bye in the 12-team playoff. Unbelievable effort for Rashawn Bailey, the third effort. Unbelievable. Multiple touchdowns here, and Michigan's hopes are dashed. As this team was at one point 10-0, folks, and they lose 3 of the last 4 after a devastating Jason Givens back spasm injury that I bet you was worse than they let on, as they lost 2 of the next 3, and then they lose a close one here in the Big Ten championship. Unbelievable. And, of course, who was it? Walk-off Rashawn Bailey. The man, the myth, the legend. This guy, watch out for Minnesota in the playoff, man. With Rashawn Bailey on a game day style, this guy is one of the best power backs you'll ever watch. In Michigan, man, that false start was critical. They got lucky with the strip sack. But Minnesota outlasts them in overtime. And just gutted for Michigan. Such a great start to the year. Beating Ohio State and Illinois. Or not, they didn't beat Illinois. But beating Ohio State was the big one. Running this division, winning it. And then just a QB injury ruins their season. They lose chemistry, lose confidence, surely. And they can't finish the big one. They'll likely get a big-time bowl. But still definitely sour grapes for Michigan fans. How did this game go, man? This was all fire from the beginning. Michigan had a fantastic second quarter. And then it was just Minnesota. 3 straight touchdowns. And whew. And both teams, man, like Jason Givens, 82 overall redshirt senior, did everything asked of him with the back spasm, 75 completion percentage, incredible game. James Draws did his thing as well. You just got to look at the defense, unable to get some critical stops. Oh, boy. Seth Chung, the SFA center, gets 3 pancakes. And on defense, Cheeto got himself an interception today. Brody Byron, the junior, will be back next year. But you got to watch out for Minnesota. This is a team littered in SFA talent. Slade Roden, have yourself a day. Rashawn Bailey, averaging 5 a carry. Devin Hester, surprisingly leading the receivers, is Jude Abraham had 1 catch today for 5 yards. Unbelievable. And on defense, you had a sack. You had A.J. Klein getting 7 tackles. He's back from that injury that kept him out his junior year after being the best linebacker in the country his sophomore year. Freddie Funyun's got a pick and that big hit on Draws. Lots of SFA talent. And they did this all without their best player on defense, Irby, their best pass rusher. So very impressive day today here for Minnesota. This is going to be a tough team to beat, folks. Minnesota is the first team to likely punch a bye, as they are a 1-loss team. We're already ranked 5 in the nation. And we still have a couple more games here, folks. As we look now at BearCave, and this is another big one. So Michigan couldn't cause mass chaos, but this next one definitely could raise a ton of havoc here today. Stanford at Washington. It is time, folks. Let's get the prediction rolling. And everybody said over. Interesting. Everybody was confident here in Slade Roden. All right. So for Stanford, they have Hawkins, right? Their quarterback. He is very good at taking off every once in a while, right? So we're going to do rushing yards again. I'm going to do rushing TDs for the quarterback Hawkins. Okay, this is Stanford quarterback. QB, the rushing touchdowns is going to be over 0.5, or is he going to be under? So is the Stanford quarterback going to get a rushing touchdown today, folks? That is the question. Predictions are going. And if you're betting on this game, it is Stanford as a 2.5-point underdog. Remember, they already beat Washington by 10 early on in the season. Stanford was in the top 10 for a while. They had 2 tough games in a row where they lost, and then they battled back, won the division, earned this opportunity, and the over-under is 62.5. So yeah, I mean, if Stanford wins this game, they get the auto bid, and then that sends that kicks out a bubble team for sure. So right now, coming into the week, you had it was Georgia, Arizona, and trying to figure out who else it was. Oklahoma, was it on the bubble, or Tennessee? Some of those teams were on the bubble here. So we'll see what happens. If you're in the hunt for a playoff, you want Washington to win. $10K under the last second. Washington kind of ran house on this division with the Chad Blunt injury. It was kind of smooth sailing for Washington. We really haven't seen them this season, but we've seen Stanford quite a bit. And this is one of the more entertaining divisions in the country to cover. Obviously, we had a 3-way tie at the top. Stanford did beat both of those teams. Shout out Mango, you're in the playoff. It's a good feeling. His first career playoff. And gotta say, Mango is one of those coaches where at one point when he was at Purdue, I was like, bro, who is this guy? You know, like, he's never going to have a chance to have any success here. And then all of a sudden, he goes to TCU. He starts building something nice, and here he is. So all you got to do is be active, and you're going to find success. As Stanford and Desmond Stryker, the #1 recruit. And we're here in Las Vegas, folks. Stanford and Washington. All right, I don't see Washington or Stanford here, so we're going to go heads and kick, and Washington wins the toss, and that's Coach Damien. Question is, are we going to see Rayshon Gloop, the quarterback, today? He is the backup. They do have Joe Davis as their quarterback. Oh, Stanford is here. Welcome in. Let's see if you can clinch a playoff spot. If you don't win this game, there's no way you stay in the top 10. But Stanford has a 10-point lead, but Washington gets it. Last play, an 81-yard pass to Bentley. I have a feeling this is going to be a close one, as Stanford already beat this team once, and they have a 10-point lead again. So third quarter now, can Washington find a way? This is the only team that got the better of them this season, and it's been nothing but defense here in the third. And 3 points there for Stanford, so a 2-point game. Oh, boy. Damien, welcome in. Can you make a comeback? Remember, we're not jumping in unless this gets to 1-score game. So we're just going to go, and there it is. Washington gets the score. We got 3 minutes left. Stanford has the ball. Can Stanford close out this game? We got Hawkins at quarterback. It looks like this might be some Wildcat. It is. We got Peoples at quarterback here, and he's going to push and only get about 1. Love when both of our coaches come in. Clinton Peoples, over 100 yards, got a touchdown. Washington, can this defense survive? Get the ball back for their high-powered offense. Can they get the monkey off their back? Can they save an at-large spot? We've seen Washington in the playoffs twice in the NCAA era. We saw Stanford maybe a couple of years ago as Hawkins finds some room down the sideline. Hawkins with a massive run, and now Washington's going to have to start burning those timeouts. Oh, boy. Getting faked out by the read option. This is the worst news possible for Coach Dogwater at Arizona. Timeouts are going to start coming out after this play. And they get him in the backfield, but Peoples powers for 4. Can Coach Damien find a way here? And this upset would definitely be rough to figure out. If Stanford would be guaranteed in, we would not know how far Washington falls. As you get a counter here, Peoples! And they give him the first down. Oh no. So this might be a last gasp here for Washington. If they can get a stop here, they might have a inkling of a chance. No more first downs. One more first down wins it. Handoff Peoples. He gets 7. Stanford is... We've had upsets all day long. It seems like the last couple of seasons, conference championships have been wild. 2nd and 3. Delayed give to Peoples to the outside, and they get him down after a stiffy. Finally, some run defense coming in. Will Williams on the tackle. So this is for the game, folks. 3rd and 3. Washington's not going to get much time, but they could still have a chance here if they get a stop. Ryan Hawkins, Clinton Peoples. Handoff to Peoples, and they're going to win the Pac-12! Peoples runs them into the CFP at 10 and 3. Unbelievable run from Stanford. And Washington, they got to think that they might still be in, but they have just been eliminated from the bye contention. Remember, the top 4 is only for conference championship winners. And all of a sudden, this might open up TCU with a chance to get into the top 4. I don't think so based on our past rankings, but you never know. Both 10 and 3 champs. We got to analyze those resumes. So 2nd and 12. Victory formation. So now Washington is going to move to the bubble. And as we hit 000, Stanford does it here in Vegas. They play their cards right, and they find themselves in the college football playoff, going through one of the craziest divisions we ever see from year to year. They survive, get their chance at Washington, and they just have their number, folks. 2 wins on the year against Washington, and they will get into the playoff as a likely a top 4 seed. Unbelievable here from Stanford. Hey, Justin, shout out. Nice gift sub. Your 10th ever for us. Holy smokes, Justin, you're crazy. Yeah, Cryo's a beast. And yeah, MLB rules, man. I mean, he's recruited now 2 5-stars. He's got Desmond Stryker, the captain of that defense. And then next year, he has a quarterback coming in. So Stanford might be looking good the next few years. But it was Ryan Hawkins here. Question is, did he get a rushing touchdown? Oh yeah, fantastic season by Washington. Obviously, their only 2 losses are to Stanford, so they are likely going to be in. Obviously, we can't guarantee anything here on stream. We got to see what the CFP committee decides. But now, instead of wondering which of the top 4 seeds you get, all of a sudden you're like, okay, where am I dropping? Am I going to have to face number 1? Am I going to have to face number 2, right, in the next round? And you know, and I feel like your odds of doing well in the CFP go down so far, going from having that bye to the first round game. So let's see how this one shook out. We got Cronin getting a touchdown, Bentley with the 80-yarder, Peoples running one in. So no touchdowns from Ryan Hawkins here. So Ryan Hawkins, the junior, he might be back next year too. Interesting, is Clinton Peoples helped him on that game-winning drive. And let's just make sure, yeah, nothing there. And holy smokes, folks. We've got a couple interesting teams outside. And Desmond Stryker, the number 1 player from the season 12 class, gets an interception. Unbelievable. SFA players making instant impacts. That's what you love to see. Washington, Joe Davis, just not enough from the senior. Dominique Bentley, the running back, doing everything he could. He had both of the touchdowns. That's crazy. And Desmond Bain, I think that's the game decider. Remember, Daryl Bain is that guy who's been killing it in the sim. He has the receptions in a game He had like 30 receptions in the game or something. And he only gets 1 catch today and no extracurriculars outside of a few TFLs. So that's the kicker, folks. Welcome in, Pizza. I think that's the new coach at Texas A&M. Or Texas Tech, sorry. Oh, Memphis coach. You got a big W today. A massive win. You went for it twice on the final drive to clinch the game. That was crazy. Well, welcome in, everybody. Glad you guys are watching. Remember, we still got one more game to go through here. And then we have the number 2 versus number 1 team of the country, really for the number 1 seed, Clemson and East Carolina, which is my team. So if you like watching me freak out when I lose games, well, we have a good one coming for you later on. All right, folks. This is one of the best games we've all been waiting for. Oklahoma at Alabama. Let's get the prediction going here, though. So the under hit. All right. Who has more passing yards? We have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. Is it going to be OU, Terrell Remmers? Or is it going to be Alabama and E.J. Irons? Unbelievable talents on both sides. 2 of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. This is going to be a clash of the Titans. If you remember, just last week, we saw Alabama win by 12 as E.J. Irons ran for about 65 yards to close out that game. And what that did was clinch the division for Bama, setting up the rematch here. We saw one rematch earlier from last week in the Georgia Southern and Southern Miss game, and Georgia Southern won both. So is Alabama going to win this game? If you're betting here, it's an Alabama Crimson Tide 3.5-point favorite and an over-under of 58.5. Winner gets a bye. Loser could be out of the playoff race. Jay Jetta's heads, tails, kick, or receive. Here we go. The SEC Championship, the only Power 5 without a national championship. They have some natty winners, but they never won as part of the SEC. Will we see this Alabama team or this Oklahoma team do it? And now with Stanford or with Washington losing, that 2nd seed is up to grabs. Will it be Minnesota? Will it be the winner of this game? Remember, Alabama's ranked ahead of Michigan. Will it be Stanford, right? We don't know. Heads and receive. All right, Jay Jettas, here we go, folks. I'm hoping for a classic here. Had some crazy games here today. As always, conference championships are one of the best weeks of the season. It's just so much fun seeing the full regular season build up to just one set of games. And with the 12-team playoffs, it makes it that much more fun. Instead of having 2 at-larges, we have 6. So there's a lot more on the line for all these teams. Wayne Streeler, they're going to need this defense to step up. And I'm calling out the freshman, the star freshman. He plays on both sides, Shaquille Wildgoose. If you're going to have a game, if you're going to have a chance to make a name for yourself as a freshman, which he already has, touchdown on offense, interception on defense for them to win this game. I'm calling it. And then on the other side, Tyrone Cox, just run the ball. E.J. Irons, just run the ball, do your thing. And we're here in Atlanta, Alabama and Oklahoma. And likely, Atlanta, the Peach Bowl is where the CFP will run through. The ACC champion typically picks the Peach Bowl. So heads and, what did he say? What did you say, Jay Jettas? Heads and receive. Oklahoma wants the ball. The best, this has definitely been the best conference through the regular season. How will this game shape out? This game was a 12-point game last week, and now 6-0 here for Oklahoma. It's 13-0. What a start from Oklahoma, the first quarter. Alabama, can they find a way to get the ball rolling? Alabama, man, just getting stunted here in the first half. Down 16 and no points. So the Oklahoma defense showing up and showing out. Can Alabama find their way? Yes, they do. They get on the board. Now, is this the floodgates? Is Alabama going to start rolling? As they all say, roll tide. Remember, folks, once it gets within one score inside 5 minutes, we will jump in. Right now, it's at 9, so that is not a one score. We cannot jump in quite yet as Oklahoma has the ball. Can they extend this lead? They're moving it. First and goal, Oklahoma. Can they punch it in? They do. Oklahoma, 23-7 with 2 minutes left. Alabama, what is happening? They beat this team last week. As we go one play at a time, they need big plays, and Oklahoma has the ball again. Are they going to make a statement? 4th down. 30 seconds left. They take the field goal. No good. Alabama, a little too late for them. And now Alabama is on the bubble. Alabama loses. Oklahoma survives. And Jay Jettas wins the SEC championship. Unbelievable. His second year at OU, and the offense gets it done. And Jay Jettas, who was number 2 last week before losing Alabama, is now going to still get that top 4 seed. He will get a bye, and now Alabama has to wait and see if their ticket is punched to the CFP. Shaquille Wild Goose got a touchdown. That's what I'm saying. And this was a game that everybody thought would be heavily offensive. There's 62 points, I believe, 72 points scored last week. This week, only 30. As Oklahoma's defense found a way to stop the well-oiled machine. Everybody's saying, fire Jay Jettas. I don't know if that's working here. No first-round exit to the G5. Absolutely. And Jay Jettas likely avoids the G5 at least to the semifinals. So Terrell Remmers not really doing much, but hey, and Gus McFeeders, he's the man that saved them from Oklahoma State disaster, and he runs them into the SEC championship. Jay Jettas can thank his lucky stars he didn't transfer after redshirting a 5-star freshman. Shaquille Wild Goose leading the receivers with a touchdown. Did he get a pick? Please get a pick. Oh my God, it'd be so hype if he got a pick. Russell got a pick. No sacks or anything. Shaquille Wild Goose, no pick, but he did get that touchdown. 3 of 4 for kicking. Now, how bad was it here for Alabama? 9 of 28 for E.J. Irons. E.J. Irons got smoked. 32 completion. They held Tyrone Cox under 100. Oh, my goodness. Alabama not looking like themselves. Sharp being the only guy getting open at all. This defense was impeccable. And the defense held them in there. Jimmy Don Willie did everything he can, the SFA player. They did get a pick. Yoke job irons there from Nick. Brother, it's in the blood somewhere. Unbelievable. And our over-under, I mean, Terrell Remmers beat him. Let me get my prediction here. Terrell Remmers. And everybody picked Terrell Remmers. I would have picked E.J. Irons. All right. So SEC Championship didn't really live up to the hype. We had some great moments today. We had an overtime game. We'll leave all of the talk and the CFP talk up to the committee. Remember, folks, if you are on the committee, do not engage in any discussion or surefire things in the chat until we all talk, obviously. We don't want you committing to something and then it changing once we look at the data. But as always, folks, let's make sure we got everything done here. SEC Championship going to Norman. Yeah, we definitely have a lot to discuss. But one game remains. Is the CFP going to run through East Carolina or Clemson, as this is likely a battle for the number 1 seed? Minnesota might have a say, but we'll have to discuss. But that game will come up in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to take a second, go to the bathroom, get my ducks in a row, and I will see you guys all in a few minutes. As always, thank you for all of the support with the subs, the gifted subs, the gifted nitros. Cairo, you're insane. Any and all followers, any all subscriptions to the YouTube, any and all Patreon, anybody who buys from Home Field. You guys are incredible. You make the SFA what it is. You allow me to pour my free time into this. So thank you guys all, and we'll see you back here. And it's going to be a good one, as I will very likely lose my shit. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Peace.